Good morning, everyone. Hey, my name is Kelly, and I'm the Director of Religious Exploration here at UUFA. I'm so happy to be with you today for Water Communion Sunday. It's one of my favorite days on our Unitarian Universalist calendar. And I personally feel a lot of appreciation and gratitude for water in my own life as an element. And I think that celebrating water helps us to remember our interconnectedness. So when Lee Cornell asked me if I wouldn't mind telling a story about the tiniest water droplet named Dollop, her friends call her Dolly sometimes, but I thought it might be really fun to tell her story to you today and let you see for yourself just how interconnected the world is if we look at it through the lens of Dolly's experience as a teeny tiny water droplet. So come with me on this really fun journey. So Dolly was a water droplet, and she lived in the depths of the ocean. She lived way down in the ocean. And deep down in the bottom of the ocean, there wasn't a lot of action happening. She felt a wave every now and then, but she really wasn't too excited about things. So she decided one day to catch a ride on the back of a deep sea diving turtle. And she rode that turtle's back all the way up to the surface of the ocean. And while she was on the surface of the ocean, enjoying a nice moment in the sunshine, she started to feel herself changing. And she started to feel different. And before she knew it, a beautiful ray of sunshine came down upon the turtle's back. The turtle was definitely enjoying sitting on this warm rock, catching the rays of the sun. But what Dolly didn't realize is that she, as a water droplet, was gonna change forms. As the sun shone down upon her, she began to change. And instead of being a water droplet, she became water vapor. She evaporated off of the turtle shell, and she found herself feeling a little different. She had become, that's right, she had become a cloud. And not just any cloud, a big old storm cloud over the ocean. And as she was riding along in the storm cloud that was blowing quick and blowing fast over that big ocean and stirring up the waves below, she decided to take a deep breath and enjoy the ride. And when she did, boy, did she have fun. She rode that cloud until it was time for her. In the journey, she had gathered some more of herself back. And she found that she was no longer an evaporated water vapor, but she was back to her old droplet self. And when she was ready, you better believe, she rained down onto the ground, onto the earth. And her water droplet self landed, you'll never believe where she landed. She landed on the feather of a parrot in the jungle. Oh yeah. While she was catching a ride on this parrot, she was like enjoying all the beautiful colors. She was smelling new smells. This was a whole new world. This wasn't the ocean anymore. She was now in the jungles of planet Earth. It was really cool. And that parrot didn't even notice that Dolly and many of her friends had landed on his beautiful wings. And she took a ride on him then. At that point, she decided, I'm gonna take a little ride on this parrot and see what happens. So she flew up into the canopy of the tree. She got a new vantage point. She was so excited to have this new life experience. She'd been doing so many things since she left the ocean already. Well, eventually, that parrot decided to shake out those wings. He was getting a little uncomfortable with all that water hanging out on him, so he shook off those wings and just getting that water right off of him. And Dolly was like, whoa, whoa. She didn't know where she was going to go. She was falling from pretty far high up in the trees. And next thing you know, she falls down, 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 down. And she lands in the most beautiful spot that a water droplet could possibly land in. She found herself in this gorgeous frog pond at the edge of the jungle. And she kind of just let herself settle in to the water there. She rejoined some of her friends, some of her water friends. And she could smell the flowers. And she could hear the rustling of the leaves in the tall grass. And she could hear the buzz of a dragonfly swooping over the water, going down to hunt some bugs that had been living on the top of the water. She heard the frogs talking to each other. She kind of got wind of what they were saying, and I think there was a little bit of love in the air that day. She was really, really, really happy in this little frog cove with all of her frog friends and ladybugs, the beautiful smells of the flowers, all the fresh grass. She was loving life. But then, suddenly, she heard a lot of rustling coming through the jungle. She heard animals scurrying. She heard a loud boom, 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 boom. And she was like, whoa, I wonder what's that is. And it was a beautiful elephant that had been traveling across the jungle. And this elephant thought, that's a mighty nice looking little pond there. Perhaps I'll have a drop to drink. And you guessed it. That elephant put her snout down in that frog pond and sucked up a bunch of water, and guess who got pulled into her trunk? That's right, Dolly the water droplet. Suddenly she was inside of this giant animal. She traveled all the way down her trunk, into her belly. And as that elephant continued on her journey, Dolly the droplet traveled with her until it was time to have a little relief. And that elephant took a little bathroom break. And Dolly flowed right out of that elephant and right into a stream. And that stream was making its way towards the ocean. So she was back in the place where she started. She felt it was familiar. She felt it was a little salty. She herself became a little salty. And she lived out just a few more days as Dolly, the tiniest water droplet, until the sun came upon her again, turned her into a cloud again, where she rained down on the earth. And she, with her water nature, watered the fruits and vegetables of the foods that you ate yesterday. Isn't that amazing? She is an amazing helper, and she's transforming, and she's moving, and she's never, ever, ever always the same. She's always changing. But she stays curious, and she's always open for a little bit of fun. And I hope that her help with watering the fruits and vegetables that you have eaten recently makes you feel really good, because you have a helper out there named Dolly the Droplet. And before I sign off today, I just wanted to give a warm welcome to our interim minister, Reverend Lisa Schwartz. Reverend Lisa, I'm so excited to work with you, and we are so happy to have you here with us at UUFA.